Welcome everybody to the season finale of ASL Season 13. It's Light versus Rain. I'm so excited for this scan. I don't know who's going to win. I'm hoping it's going to be close. Rain has played so well this season, but Light's looking like this might be the first time he could possibly take a championship. What do you think?
Well, I'm also excited about. Before I talk about my opinion, let's hear what she's saying. She's doing the opening up of the ASL Season 13 Finals. She is Lee Hyun. Will be taking care of this ASL as a host, and she is pretty much a lot of audience has come to this Sangam Coliseum studio. There are about 500 seats available. The tickets were all sold out in a couple minutes as soon as they started. And Rain, he has been taking a long break, and he's a very talented player. There was some tough time for him to make it through out of that round of 8 and round of 4. But definitely such a great play, great performance from him. And that's Rain's statistics information of this ASL Season 13. Round of 24, he played against Bishop, amateur Terran player, in a round of 24, and then actually in a winners match. In round of 16, he beat Royal and Light 2-1. In round of 8, you can see he played against Soki 3-2. In round of 4, he beat Soma 4-2. That was the best of 7. And this is Light's statistics information of round of 24. He beat Tyson, but then on the winner's match, he lost against Bisu. He went to the decider match and had to play against Saksri. That was also some misunderstanding of Saksri's build. That game had a bad scout luck, but he managed to make it out of that group. And he was also playing in the round of 16 in Mini's group. He beat Mini in the first round and then lost to Rain in a winner's match. And then he had to play against Mini once again for the final, and also made it out of 16. Also played against Action in round of 8, 2-1. And semi-final, 4-2 against Bisu. That was very impressive record and score, or I should say result. And then this is ASL Season 13 Rain's information. If he wins, this is everything is if he wins. If Rain wins, this is going to be his second time winning the ASL champ. The fourth Protoss. That went too fast. And also Light's information. Light hasn't won ASL yet, but he got the second place before. If he ever wins this ASL in this season 13, then he is going to be the third Terran who will be having the ASL champ title. Flash, last, Light. And we haven't gotten to see a Terran player winning the ASL for 5 seasons. And if he wins this ASL season 13, then it is going to be after that 5 seasons and making Terran player making it into the ASL champ. And also taking a look at this the database, the ASL PBT finals. So season 1, Shuttle beat Sharp 3-0 in that time. And then season 7, Last beat Mini 3-1. And then season 8, Flash beat Snow 4-0. And season 12, Mini versus Rush 4-3. And now we're once again on another TVP finals. We're not gonna be knowing about this result yet because they haven't played yet. And of course the trophy is over there as well. They're probably gonna be flashing the trophy somewhere. And she is talking more of the online prediction on Africa TV Esports page, winner prediction, and a lot of fans has chosen for Rain. 64% of the people chose for Rain, and 36% of the people chose for Light. And she also has the player's prediction from that round of 16 of the season 13. We can see a lot of blue collar choosing for Rain. There are about 5, 7, 8. Okay, so there are 8 players chose for Rain, and 6 players has chose for Light. And I guess none of them has predicted for 4-1, at least 4-2 to 4-3. So a lot of people are thinking this is going to be another fantastic game. And of course, this ASL Season 13 is sponsored by Hot 6. And we are going to go for the opening show soon. So we can see a lot of audience are seating, and that seems like Bishop, but maybe not him. A lot of fans has come, and you can see people are holding up that banner, or is it called banner?
Yeah, it's called a banner. And thank you for the translation skin. I think that we're probably gonna have the highlights of the players for the season in just a few moments. I thought I saw Jaedong in the front row, but probably not. And here is here are those highlights coming up.
I guess I'll play the sound since it's the finals.
Let's see what's coming down the steps.
And of course, this is ASL Season 13 Finals. Thank you for coming in. And both of the players have such a nice skill and mechanics, and we are excited to watch this ASL Season 13 Finals PBT. And first of all, Rain. Hello, nice to meet you. Hello, I'm Rain. And after winning the ASL, and you have been taking a long break, and now you're once again back to the ASL tournament competitive scene. And you're once again standing on a final stage.
상대는 이재호 선수입니다.
You're facing against Light.
이번 결승전 대결 자신의 그 DNA, 능력 그리고 자신의 그 포텐 스스로 좀 어느 정도는 인정하실 것 같은데요.
You're pretty much
무조건 우승이다. 어떠세요?
assuming
아니 그런 건 아니고
you're definitely a talented player as
이게 저도
as a player.
좀 못 믿고
네.
조금
Even though many players have been taking a break, but it's not so easy to make it into the final. But now, a lot of people are just know that you're super talented player, has accomplished a lot of career in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2. And what do you think about this final? So he kind of disagree about the talented part. Of course, the effort matters.
그럼 이 부분에 있어서는 이재호 선수 어떻게 생각하세요?
What do you think of Light?
우선 근데 재우 형이 되게 잘하는 선수고.
So Rain is saying Light is definitely a great player.
올라오는 거 보면은 저력 있는 선수는 맞는데. 근데 저도
He's once again came to this ASL final stage, so
그래서 오늘은 좀 힘들 것 같아요.
he definitely knows this is going to be a tough match for him because he has at least one experience that he was on an ASL final. So it is going to be a tough matchup for him, for Rain. So Light, you have been putting lots of effort, analyzing, making new builds, but you don't have the ASL champ title. What do you think of yourself? So Light is saying, throughout the year that he has built up all this experience, it is just for today, and now he has more experience to play on this ASL final. He can definitely play better this time, and will be winning this ASL.
정윤종 선수의 격려를 해줬는데 정윤종 선수는 1년 만에 잘렸습니다. 그리고 난 이후에 성장을 하고 난 이후 이래 거물로 좀 돌아온 상황이에요. 지금의 이재호 오늘이라면
So the caster is asking, Rain was a trainee back then. You were a professional player, but he significantly improved within a year. Became a monster back then, and he's still playing really well in this 2022. So what do you think of Rain? And Light is saying he definitely knows about Rain's mechanics and skills and his play style. But whenever Rain is playing on an offline stage, he becomes another person. Playing on online is completely different than playing on an offline stage. Rain has more skills and more experience with the mind game wise. He's definitely a great player. So he did prepare for all those kind of stuff that he has experienced in round of 16. So he definitely prepared a lot for this best of 7 series. So Rain is saying he did watch the Light's semi-final against Bisu. Light was such a scary, showing some lots of scary moment with the aggressiveness. So Rain did also prepare a lot for this ASL Season 13 finals. He will be playing somewhat differently. What do you think of asking the question to Light? What do you think of your prediction of today's ASL Season13 final? So Light is saying he's still not sure, but while he was practicing lots of games with his practice partner, things were not working out so well. But if he started off with the 1 win in the beginning of the game, he said something about 4-1 or 4-2. I wasn't sure, but it's not going to be an easy match. Any last word before we go into the game? First, since we're now both in this ASL final stage, he wants to play such a nice game or great performance of today's game for the audience. So Rain, he wanted to play the ASL, the competitive scene, just for like a casually and trying out how far he can reach out. But since every time, whenever he wins in round of 24, round of 16, a lot of fans started to have lots of high expectation, and he also got excited of getting the attention from the fans, and he really wanted to get the ASL champ title as well. So he's going to be showing such a nice game as well. And we'll be starting off this ASL Season 13 Finals now.
Yep, thank you, Scan. And it is interesting to hear that Rain didn't have high expectations for himself. But now that he's made it this far, of course, he wants to win it. The first thing I noticed with these players is Rain just feels, or just the way he's standing, the way he's talking, the way he's laughing, he feels comfortable already. And Light, oh, well, here's the highlights.
Yeah, we can see those storm drops. We don't get to see that much often in PvZ, but Rain did show, and that is also Light.
Did that say super? That said Super Terran, I think, did it not?
Yeah, it was written. Yeah, it was written Super Terran. And looks like there are some players interview pre-recorded and saying about their feeling, and Light is saying about his some moment what he did wrong, and he's regretting about his previous ASL final stage against Queen. And after losing to Queen like that on an ASL final, he started to lose some motivation and getting knocked out in round of 16 and round of 8. And also from Rain, he wasn't having a high expectation of this ASL Season 13. He just wanted to reach at least like round of 16 or round of 8 and then probably get eliminated by some strong player. But since now he eliminated all those strong players and standing on an ASL final, he really wants to get the ASL champ title as well. And so they noticed they were both in a group A, one of the death group, and they actually made it out of that death group together, and they're once again standing in an ASL final. So he's somewhat feeling excited to play against Light once again. And Light is saying some of his opinion. He has some tough time understanding of Protoss playstyle throughout this ASL Season 13. And he kind of wanted to provoke it during the interview, pre-interview. So players can, his opponent can play somewhat differently. And he thinks that pre-interview did help him a lot. So Rain definitely knows Soki is one of the great Zerg out there. He was having some difficulty playing against Soki in round of 8. So Rain is saying he does not practice a lot, but he does analyze lots of stuff, thinking on his, doing some image training on his head. And that's Light saying putting lots of effort is also a thing to become a talented player. Okay, they are saying something about the previous or the other tournament, KSL, hosted by Blizzard. They played in a KSL final back then. And Rain was saying there was no not much of a feeling that Light was going to be playing really, really well that time, but he did learn his lesson, and it's time for It's time for Rain to revenge against Light. And Light is saying he really wants to say thanks to his fans out there. Rain knows a lot of fans want him to win the ASL. And because of that, he's getting the inspiration from there. Motivation and inspiration. And there's no any other Protoss player got 2 times in a row of getting the ASL champ, so he wants to achieve it and make a new history.
Okay, we are finally about to get started, and as I was stating just a moment ago, just the attitude of Rain and Light, it's completely different. Like, even in the interviews that we just saw, Rain smiling ear to ear. I mean, he seems carefree. He's mentioned he didn't have high expectations. But on the other hand, Light looks super serious. And my own experience in playing in tournaments, sometimes when you're too super serious, you have high expectations for yourself. And we know Light is someone that has had high expectations for several seasons and has kind of choked a little bit. I'm already feeling like this could be Rain's tournament, simply because you tend to play better when you don't have high expectations. You don't put so much pressure on yourself. So I'm a little bit worried for Light in the finals already. It seems like Rain, I don't know, just his attitude looks completely different from Light's. I don't know if you have any input on that. Do you play better when you're totally focused, or I don't know, kind of or do you play better in a kind of similar attitude as Rain, at least how he appears on stage right now?
Well, I think, at least having some nerves before you go into game does help to focus better in a real, like a offline tournament, in my opinion. And with my experience throughout those ASL Season 11 back then, and I think Rain, during the interview, he says he wants to win the ASL champ, but from what I'm seeing, like with his like heart, like the feeling of his heart, I think he's kind of somewhat careless. That's just my opinion. Because he did lots of crazy build in round of 4 and round of 8. I don't know whether I think it was in round of 4. Yeah, when Rain was playing against Soma, even against Soki, I should say, because I mean, he was so ballsy, taking a risk and doing non-scout 12 Nexus first, and doing lots of like blind opening in the early stage of the game against Zerg, and taking lots of risk to have the super advantage in the early stage of the game, and it's pretty much snowball from there. And I guess that is also part of the mind game, but he's somewhat careless. Oh, I'm out of luck. This is my destiny. I'll accept it, and if I get knocked out, then okay, that's how it is. That's how I'm seeing from that's how I'm seeing of Rain.
Yeah, that is true. There were some builds in the previous Zerg series where I was thinking the same thing. It's like, okay, well, I don't know about this. It seems like you're kind of just accepting your fate, like you said, especially the game where he blind went 12 Nexus and then Gateway follow-up. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with it, because if you're going to die to an overpool or a 9-pool anyways, why not just go for the super greed opener? We get a rundown of his versus Terran past 10 games. You can see it's only a 40% win rate. It's his overall worst matchup. We know that his PvP is god tier. It's like 85% win rate. But to see his PvT to be as low as it is a bit surprising. I'm looking at the top 2 games was versus Last, and then the follow-up games was versus Flash. So, I mean, when you think about it, your past 10 games are versus Last and Flash. I mean, it's not so bad to have a 4-6 record.
Yeah, Flash and Last, they're both really, really strong player. And a couple years ago, and they're now gone. But we got Light. We got Light, who's analyzing some new build and also giving us some new solution how to beat Protoss. So I'm excited to see how Light plays against Protoss, because you know, if you have played on ladder, you can see lots of Nexus first, and sometimes people do blind Reaver build without making any observers, like shuttle Reaver build. There are multiple ways of going Reaver build, but a lot of people are doing the blind Reaver build. It's so crazy. And we can see Light, recent 10 games he did play against, I guess yeah, that is Rain in season 13 round of 16. He did lose to Rain, and then 2-1 Mini, and then 4-2 against Bisu. So not too bad, I would say.
Yeah, definitely not too bad. Bisu, a legend. Mini, you know, the previous ASL champion. And if you look, he's played... just seeing his past 10 games makes me realize that, wow, this guy's actually played, like, almost exclusively Protoss the entire season. Like, all of his past 10 games were from Season 13. So he's definitely got a lot of TVP experience under his belt in this tournament. And I'm curious, because you just mentioned it, the fast Reaver, and you seem to not be happy about them skipping Observer. Well, how do you punish someone that skips Observer and goes into Reaver? It feels like they get the Reaver out ASAP, so it would stop timings, right?
Yeah, if you got the Reaver really, really fast, then it does stop the timing attack from Terran, like a 2 base, 3 tank push, or 5 tank push, or whatsoever. And also, if you're playing like a really, really classic, the old school build, like Academy and an Armory, like the Goliath Siege tank build, like you're pretty much turtling up in the early stage of the game with the heavy upgrades build, then Protoss just doesn't shop in the shuttle. Like, okay, you made a Goliath, I won't go in, I'll just put my Reaver front up your bunker line, and then I'll just put quadruple Nexus.
Quadruple Nexus, is that what they do?
Yeah, that's what they do on ladder. They're all crazy, man.
I'll have to be tuning into Artosis's stream in the next week or so and see if he runs into the quadruple Nexus follow-up. I'd love to see his reaction. We get a look at the players now. They are sitting in their chairs, getting ready, so you know we're about to start pretty soon. Getting a rundown of, again, what are the players that Light has gone through. You can see from his player list, look at it, it's exclusively Protoss and Zerg. Not very many Zergs. Only 2 Zergs I see are Soxry and Action. Meanwhile, he beat Park Ji-hoon. Who exactly is that? Tyson, yes, Tyson. And then I saw Bisu again. Couldn't get the rest of the list, but we already know Mini and Bisu, obviously. Now, our first map... Oh, I had it. I'm just like, is it Eclipse?
Yeah, it's Protoss pick first. Of course, we start off with the 2-player map. It's going to be such a big headache for us as a Terran commentator. And that's ASL champ title. That seems more bigger than I thought.
Yeah, that actually kind of looks similar to the League of Legends championship trophy. Those are always massive, and I'm sure each of these players wants to add it to their trophy collection. As we stated, the first map is Eclipse. Then we have Allegro, Revolver, Vermeer, Butter, Monopoly, and Metaverse. So if we get to Game 7, Metaverse is going to be our final map, and we know that has had a lot of exciting games. Seems like players are ready. We see the fireworks. Let's get into Game 1 of our finals. It's Rain versus Light on Eclipse.
이클립스에서 게임을 시작합니다.
Okay, in the top right, in the bottom left are orange Protoss, it is Rain, and in the top right are red Terran, it is Light. And I've got my eyes locked on that mini-map, checking to see if we're going to see any fast probe or even SCV movement. I mean, we saw who was it? Was it Light a couple days ago where we saw him send out a fast SCV and go for that hidden barracks?
Oh yes, he did against Bisu with the 90.9 scout and hiding his SCV at the behind of the mineral line. And we are seeing Rain is already sending out the probe. I am gonna be assuming he's about to put the pylon. Never mind, not going to put down the pylon at the natural. So this is not going to be the natural gateway. He did put down the pylon at the main base, but the scouting probe is definitely fast. So he's going to definitely aim for that gas steal.
Yep, this is definitely going to be an instant gas steal, and I've mentioned this in some previous casts in BSL. When you see a probe come in, watch for the movement of the probe. If it's harassing your racks, there could be a proxy gate in the center of the map. If it goes straight to your gas, more than likely not going to be proxy, and we see he goes straight to the gas. So if I'm Light in this scenario, I would already be thinking, okay, chances of this being a proxy gate is very low. Of course, it could be something like a 7 pylon 7 gate, but I'd already be feeling pretty good that there's no proxy out on the map.
Yes, that's a very good analysis, and we are just seeing some ASL, the map record saying the Terran won 17 games against Protoss and 17-10, and I didn't know Terran has really high win rate against Protoss on Eclipse, because Eclipse is such a it's really hard map. Like, we can see lots of crazy build. You can see gas steal or proxy gate or even gas steal into Nexus first, like how Ruin was doing back then, previous season. And we are seeing Rain is not going to do some type like a Ruins build. He will be doing something gas steal into. Oh, the SCV needs to be here.
He's going to get it. The probe has range, and somehow the probe always catches up to the worker. Same with drones. It never in my... Oh my gosh, he juked it, but nope. That's a dead SCV, and already Light's not going to be happy about this. One SCV loss in the early stages, not the biggest of deals, but when you're at this level of play, every little advantage you can get really does matter. First Zealot is coming out. It is going to be gaseous expand for both players.
And Light did confirm whether this is going to be 2 Zealot into an expansion or 1 Zealot into expansion, but I guess Light is not going to take a risk or even gamble, like doing the 3 Marine versus the 1 Zealot micro. Sometimes you miss micro your Marine, then you start to lose all those Marine and then taking a lot of damage. So he will be putting down the bunker immediately. There are 3 Marines are standing, but I'm seeing another building going up.
I was just about to ask you this. This particular opener, I think I have the most trouble with on the ladder. Oh my gosh, the Zealot's just going to run by. He's just going to skip. Okay. He at least confirms there's no command center, but does this tell him anything? The Marines are going to move out too? Rain, oh man, well, he drilled onto something.
Well, he did sacrifice the Zealot to figure out whether there's a Nexus, there's a command center or not, but it may seem strange because the game has gone for 3 minutes and 30 seconds and you do not get to see the command center at the natural. So I guess that could be one of the reasons why Rain is immediately putting down the pylon at the natural. Oh, look at that! Instead of putting down the forge, he put down the Cybernetics core. He did put down the forge, so there are gonna be some micro battle between these two players. There are 7 SCV with the 5 Marine.
This is so dangerous for both sides. The micro has to be perfect from the Terran. The SCV's got a body block. What I'm noticing is there's nothing for the probes to drill on, so it's just going to be head-on battle. Probes, SCVs going head-to-toe. That's a great surround, but there's just a lack of DPS. However, the cannon is almost completed, and that's all Rain really needs is he needs it to complete. Look at the SCVs focusing down. The cannon is actually going to die. I can't even believe it. But the Marines all got cleaned up almost. There's only 2 remaining. Is that a second cannon? How close is it to finishing? I guess it's not going to matter because the Zealot is going to push this back. And behind this, Light is going for Command Center. I thought this was actually going to be a 1-base academy with Marines and Medics, but it is not. It is going to be 2 racks into gas and then most likely going to be the factory follow-up.
Yeah, so that the SCV body blocking and picking up the Zealot and Probe. That was definitely a nice one. And yeah, the Zealot, Rain definitely does not want to lose those Zealot because he needs to have those Zealot and hug his photon cannon because those Marine cannons start to walk to the right side.
Yeah, and killing that probe is a big deal because now Rain doesn't know what this is. He knows that it was a 2-rack simply because the Marine count is too high. And just as you stated, he has to be careful to not let these Marines move behind the mineral line. Of course, that would limit the surface area that the probes and the Zealots can get onto them. But also, the cannon, I don't even think can range it. So Rain is going to put down a second cannon to try and limit the damage. For now, Terran is content with just sitting outside of his base, and that's an academy, so it is going to be a fast academy rush. You know, you always have to be wary of DT follow-up, but it is not going to be Marine Medic because those 2 barracks are already floating.
Yeah, having that 2 barracks definitely will be used for something else, like a scouting like an ovaler. Like I mean, I guess Light will be using those barracks like an ovaler there. He will be sending that 1 barracks to the top left and another one to the bottom right, so he can see whether Rain ever takes any hidden expansion, or I should say the ninja expansion or whatnot. So he's gonna be easily finding out what Rain is doing. And of course, you mentioned about the academy timing. He will be getting the comp station momentarily in next couple seconds, and with the early comp station, you can get lots of information what Rain is doing. Oh, I scanned your natural and you don't have your second gas. Oh, then you don't have enough Vespin gas to go for carrier build. So I'm gonna be start turtling up with the heavy upgrade and slowly expanding towards the 3rd expansion or what, something like that.
Yeah, both players took heavy losses on their worker count, so I don't think Rain could have afforded to go for a fast carrier follow-up. I think Terran lost maybe 5 or 6 SCVs, not too sure how many probes Protoss lost, but it looked like it was a considerable amount. Funny enough, you talked about the no-range fast robo. This is exactly what Rain's going for, and just as you stated, going for fast armory, fast Goliath play would be the counter to this, and that's exactly what Light is going for. Now, all I'm waiting to see is how many Nexus is Rain going to put down. I think it would be a bit dangerous because Terran already on 2 factories, and you know he's still got a decent Marine count, even though they are weak, of course, versus Reavers. I mean, they buffer a lot of damage from the goons. And there's the first 2 tanks.
Starting to put some missile turret ring at the main base, and if I were Light, well, I might be wrong with my knowledge, but if I were Light, I would just instantly go for like 3 factory and skipping the starport and immediately putting down the 3rd command center, because you started off with the 2 racks, 7 SCV cheese, and he assassinated a lot of probe in the early stage of the game. And of course, Rain is gonna definitely behind in this game, even though he has the supply lead, but he's just squeezing lots of army from those gateway unit and then a single Reaper from there. Of course, they consume lots of supply, and he doesn't have the 3rd expansion yet.
Well, we've got a small attack. Well, it's not really a small attack. It's pretty darn strong. 3 Zealots, shuttle, couple Dragoons. He's going to be looking to get some damage done. For now, he's going to be content with just taking down the bunker. Siege, a little bit too far out of range, not able to get any hits down. Rain does need to be careful. Starport coming in, so it is not going to be the 3-fact. I think a 3rd one, or a 3-fact before the port. I think the 3rd one has come down in his main just now. Oh no, it is already done. So this is going to be heavy units while also getting tech. And we're going to see the first few vultures out on the map to try get some map presence.
Yeah, Rain didn't notice about the vulture sneaking out, or did he miss those vultures sneaking out? Because he's still sending all of his gun forward, and I guess he does have 2 cannon at the natural, so that they might help to defend those 2 vulture aggression. But finally putting down the pylon wall at the 3rd expansion, scanning once again, double scan goes off, confirming, hey, what you doing? Are you going for the carrier? No, you're not. You're going for the Sirab Adun. So this is going to be the Speed Shuttle Reaver into Sirab Adun. Okay, I know what you're doing. I don't have to go for the timing attack. Light will be just turtling up.
Yeah, and I'm already getting a bit worried for Rain because we see the supplies are pretty much dead even. Third Nexus is not quick at all, really. I mean, it's going to complete in just a second. But Terran's going to be feeling pretty good about this scenario. We see a big block going down in his main. I imagine that's going to be the command center for him. And there is the double Reaver for Rain, so this is really going to shut down all potential timings. Reaver's just a huge counter to Factory Man. And I think fourth Factory coming down, so both players just content taking their third bases and macroing up for now.
Yeah, seems like to me that Light is aiming for 3 Factory Starport into 2-1 upgrade and rushing for third command center, putting down all those additional Factory from now on, but
that single Vulture got a surprising amount of kills. It was 4 probe kills. And there's the mass turrets at the top side of the base. Great pylon positioning by Rain there to scout out this dropship. Dropship is sometimes a big commitment, but because of how strong Light's eco is and also killing a few probes, I don't think this will be a big loss even if he was to get it denied.
Well,
Now,
I like how Light is having that single barracks to have some information, but the dropship needs to be very careful from those 3 guns. Luckily, he saved the dropship, but the bottom, there's 4 guns still sharking around. He did unload all those vultures and starting to put some lots of Spider-Man in front of Rain's Natural, so this is going to be for him to buy some time to take a third expansion.
Yeah, but that was really good control from Rain. Now, that, not so much. A lot of Zealots taking a lot of damage, even a couple Zealots falling. Now, the Reavers have to be careful. I realize he sees the positioning of the tanks, but all it takes is a second of you looking away, and those Reavers could have been gone in a heartbeat. The Observer has been taken down, so now Rain completely in the dark, and this can be a scary moment for Terran because they're in the process of taking their third base. There's not a lot of mines set up, and Protoss is going for the bust. But I love the floated barracks to soak up a lot of hits from the goons, and I love how he's slowly building turrets and potentially more depots.
Yeah, we can see Light's supply is 130 versus 155, and I would like to see the upgrade, but the one single Reaver, one single Sea Stain will get picked off. One Reaver did die. But what happened to the rest of the Vulture? But okay, here are the remaining Marine Goliath Vultures. This somehow clear all the Zealots, and the remainings are purely good, so this is going to be easy for Light to push out and slowly taking the third expansion.
Yeah, I also don't know where the Zealots went. I thought there were more than that. They may have hit another minefield in the center of the map, and maybe 3 or 4 got taken down because it looked like there was only maybe 4 or 5 Zealots actually during that big engagement. Another big mine hit onto all of the Zealots, and these Zealots are just taking so many free shots from the mines that they're now getting cleaned up somewhat easily by the tanks. Finally a successful attack here. Maybe Light's a little bit too far ahead. His tanks on the high ground are not sieged up, and Light, who had a great defense just a moment ago, all of a sudden his third base is vulnerable, but maybe not. More Vultures and more tanks coming in. The Reaver is still alive.
That Reaver Micro was baiting that tank shot for a long time, losing the DPS for Light, and that didn't hurt Light as much as I expected, because we can see the supply is still somehow even, and we can see from Light's perspective, Rain does not have the 5th Nexus yet. If he did those much of a damage plus having that 5th Nexus running, Rain would have been so ahead in that game, but we can see Rain still does not have the 5th Nexus. He just started to warp that Nexus at the top left side. Still no Stargate whatsoever, seeing the High Templars are coming out.
Yeah, he's going to be very happy to see that there is no Arbiter, and there's Shuttle coming in again, but it does get denied by the couple turrets, so Light really on top of his defense. I'm curious what the defense is at the natural of Light. Is there any turrets there? Okay, there are a couple, so that could be a point of vulnerability that Rain might be able to exploit. As you mentioned, 5th Nexus is going to finish pretty soon at top left, so that's going to be a big power spike for Rain, but for now, supplies dangerously even, and with 2-1 kicking in for Light, he should be feeling pretty confident going into this mid-late game.
Yeah, I mean, of course, splitting the if you're splitting the map, Rain definitely needs to take this bottom right double expansion, but he still doesn't have that expansion. Those two vultures are still standing, not letting Rain to take that expansion, and we can see Light is clearing up and also starting to take some vision and map control at the top, middle, and I guess Light is slowly gonna be expanding towards the 4th command center soon, and we can see there are double shuttle flying around. One of the shuttles should have 4 High Templars in it.
Well, Light needs to be careful right now because that's a lot of supply at top left, and you can see he knows that. He's sending all of his vultures back. Rain is going for the attack, but is it going to be in time? All the vultures are back and into position. So Rain, I think, has to turn around, but no, he's going to actually try and fight this. There's so many tanks, so many vultures. There's not that many Goliaths. The Templar unload. One gets off a pretty decent storm, but this attack should not work. The storms just aren't there. Now more storms coming in. The Dragoons are falling left and right. Zealots are all dead. Is he really going to push through? There's not that many tanks left.
Those storms were definitely beautiful, but we can see Light's defense is also amazing how well he was defending, and we can see the supplies are somewhat similar, and the 5th Nexus is still not taken care of by Rain. He did send some Zealots to defend that 11 o'clock expansion, but still taking some tough time. And if the game starts to go stall the game like this for another minute or so, this is going to be Light's favor.
Yeah, I'm worried for Rain here, and I was going to ask you, what do you think about this base top left? This seems like it's just going to get knocked down as soon as the 4th base gets taken from Light, and we know he's taking it right now. When you're playing Terran versus Protoss, oh, he intercepts the probes! So many probes are going to die here. Remember, Rain already lost a bunch of probes in the early game. He cannot afford to lose more probes, and now Light has the 4th base. He has the high ground, and you can see Rain realizes there's no way he's saving this base, so he's going to give it up. That's going to be 4 base Terran versus 4 base Protoss, and Protoss players out there know what that means. It means this is going to be very hard for Protoss going into the mid and late game.
We can see 2-2 upgrade is done. That means in next couple seconds the +3 attack, it is going to be completed for Light. And I want to see, okay, I can see Rain's upgrade. He only has +1 attack upgrade. No, okay, +2 just now kicked in for Rain. He does have only a single forge. Somewhere he did build a Stargate, but I don't see it. He's going for the Arbiter Tribunal, but now 5th Nexus is gone. This is going to be 4 base versus 4 base, and of course this is going to be a better scenario for Light.
Yeah, and with only +1 weapon, like you stated, these tanks and vultures, they're just not dying. And oh my gosh, really good control on the goons. I thought for sure they're gonna get caught by these vultures, but like you said, okay, there's +2 weapon. It is imperative that he had +2 in this situation. In fact, he needs +3, but +1, these vultures wouldn't even care about these goons. There's so many vultures, they're gonna get killed. All 5 of these goons. And whenever Terran gets to this point where they're trading vultures for goons, you know you're in a very, very bad predicament. Now he's even going to shut down bottom middle. And now what does Rain do? He doesn't have the high tech. He has Templars.
Well, those high Templars can be used for the bus, but when Terran starts to have 3-2 upgrade, you don't have any chance to throw some storms.
That is so true. Your army just gets obliterated in an instant. And I think unless Light really botches his attack, this is his game to take. We know Light is very diligent with his mine placement. He's very diligent with his unit placement whenever he does attack and when he's defending. So I really find it hard to believe that he will make a mistake here. However, it is Eclipse. You do attack uphill into the 4th base, for example. Here comes Rain. There's not that many tanks. Well, I mean, there's a decent amount, but it's not an overwhelming amount. There's no Sim City, really. Zealot's getting on top of all the vultures and all of the tanks. Not a lot of mines, but here come those Templars.
Those are definitely mass. High Templar has come with a 150 energy each. Oh, did he just get hit by the EMP?
I didn't Nope, I don't know if he got hit by an EMP, but those Templars hit a ton of tanks, and the tank count really got reset here. Both player supplies are plummeting, and the whole time I was watching these goons on the right side of the map, they weren't even in this fight. Imagine if those two goons were there, he may have been able to push through, so that seems like it was a bit of a mistake from Rain, but he at least gets his 5th base up and running, and that attack was more successful than I anticipated. Arbor coming out, seems like it's just started. But look at that tank count, not so high anymore.
Yeah, Light was a bit off with not tracing Rain's army at the left side. He did get lots of damage after his 4th expansion, but thing we have to know is he did not lose much of SCV. He still has decent amount of SCV. All the things that he really needs to do from now on would be refilling the number of tanks that he lost from that fight, and he just needs to split the map in half, and maybe he needs to put down another 5th command center soon.
Well, if Light tries to split it by going to top left, that would put him on 5 bases, but Rain would have access to 6 bases because he's already got 1 at bottom middle. Now he's taking the bottom right corner base, so he would be up 1 base, but a lot of times with Terrans only down 1 base in a split map scenario, that is manageable. Terran can definitely overcome a 1 base disadvantage. First Arbiter is already out in the perfect scan. He even saw it, so he knows the energy timing. He's going to have 1 minute before stasis is available, 2 minutes before recall is available. Now, does Light want to attack? Remember, he's got the powerful upgrades. He's got 3-2 already, but he doesn't have the max. He doesn't have the 200 supply.
Yeah, Light has floating Vesping gas, and I feel like he has put too many missile turret to defend the Arbiter recall, because he didn't actually confirm the Arbiter timing. He didn't know the Arbiter Tribunal was up, and he didn't know about the Arbiter, the first Arbiter coming out on the map, so definitely he did put lots of money on those defense tower. Sniping on the observer definitely will help for Light to have some more comfortable zone and putting more spider mines out there.
Well, we saw that the EMP did get put out, but did not land on that Arbiter, so it is still very, very dangerous. More shuttles being produced. I mean, Rain's really doing a good job with the shuttles. He's not necessarily playing Mini-esque, where Mini's just constantly dropping into your main and, you know, you're not in 3rd, 4th all the time, but he's using it to success during these attacks. That is a lot of Templars on the ground. That's 7 Templars on the ground. I wonder what's actually in the shuttles if there's that many Templars on the ground. Sometimes when you have, of course Templars are amazing, but when you have something like 7 or so, it's a bit hard to control. Here comes another massive attack. I think this is a mistake. There's so many tanks, so many vultures. Goliath knocked down one of the shuttles. Second shuttle's going to unload, and there's where all those Templars are. There's no stasis just yet. Great storms blanket a lot of the tanks on the top side, but there's still 5 or 6 standing strong on the right side, and they are going to push this attack back.
Yeah, now Light is somewhat unsieging some of his tanks to bring those siege tanks to the left side, and we can see, I think Rain's 3rd expansion is going to be mined out soon. I don't see that much of the mineral field. Yeah, I think it's starting to get dried out there, and we can see Rain did make a huge mistake there, but he does have 4 high Templars still. That's such a nice, oh, he got hit by the EMP.
Yeah, he clutched it right there, hitting all 4 of the Templars. They morph into an Archon just to buy time, but they end up dying too. And even though Rain is going to be mined out at his 3rd base pretty soon, he does have both of the bottom right bases, and that is going to be hard for Light to push there while also trying to defend his top left base. So, Rain, still think he's got a good shot in this game. He does need to be careful to save these units, though. The shuttle bombs are annoying. There's not a single Goliath in this army, so this non-stop Zealot Bomb, Templar Storm is going to do a lot of damage, especially on all of these clumped up units.
Look at that, unsieging and sieging non-stop, and he realized there are a couple of leftover Goliaths at the right side. He's now sieging everything, and did he just lose the Arbiter? Not sure what just happened there, but okay, never mind, he didn't lose the Arbiter, but lots of guns getting melted. not a good trade for Rain, but he definitely wants to buy more time, not letting Light to take that expansion. He wants Light to stay on a 4 base, and that's another big EMP. Another big EMP got hit by another vessel. So this is now slowly getting pushed away. Okay, we can finally see a single dropship loaded up.
Yeah, Rain's doing a good job to stall this 5th base though, but the army just isn't there. There's not enough units to actually stop it from being taken. The storms have been fantastic, and in fact, even though he lost a lot of goons, he traded for a lot of tanks. He even got one of the vessels. Non-stop storms left and right. Oh, can he push through with just storms? I mean, that's essentially all of his damage right now. That is so many tanks, and this might be a recall.
Well, not sure whether that was a good recall for him, because he did kill those 2 tanks instantly, but the remaining siege tanks were on the low ground, pretty much shooting from there. And that Goliath is getting picked, that Arbiter is going to get cleared.
Yeah, I'm also not too sure about that trade. He did get something like 6 tanks though, but losing the Arbiter and the Templar that also got recalled are huge losses for him. He's constantly scanning all these bases. He sees the 4th base is even close to being mined out. So Light realizes that, hey, as long as I stabilize top left and I don't let you just mine completely out the bottom right, I should be still in a good position. Another good unsiege there, but also a pretty darn good Zealot attempt to try and knock down a couple tanks. Now there's actually a massive supply lead. I'm seeing it for Light. It's 35 right now, or almost 35. And this may just be simply too much to overcome, especially, you've seen the comp of Light, right? It's like almost pure tank at top left. Look at that.
Yeah, I really love how Light is not instantly spending all of his money. He is thinking whether he should be making the Vulture or whether he should be making some Goliath, and he's just being so decisive there, whether he needs to spend those money real quick or whatnot, and he's just efficiently trading the fight, every single fight.
Yeah, I want to rewatch. I'm definitely going to rewatch this game, because I don't know how he held his 4th base with only like 10 to 12 tanks. It sounds like a lot, but when you see that he had like 15 tanks defending his choke right there just a moment ago, I don't know how he trades so effectively versus a maxed out Protoss army. Now, this is going to be another big attack from Rain, but this time around it's something like 30 tanks. And if he's not able to get through 12, I don't know how he's going to get through 30. Look how many tanks are in the back line.
That was a huge throw by Rain, I would say. Light only lost about 15 supply there for that fight. Rain did lose about 60 army supply, and now we can see from Light, he started to unseat all of his army. He's calculating whether he wants to attack or whatnot, but definitely those High Templars are very scary.
Yeah, Templars are going to fall though. Vultures for Templars, that is definitely worth for Terran. And again, a 30 supply lead for Terran. He's got so much gas. He had 1,800 gas a moment ago. Now he has 900. So you know he just built something like 10 tanks, or something like 5 in an additional vessel. And he's just going to be posturing, making sure he doesn't get counterattacked anywhere. He's scouted and saw the army moving to top left, but he's already got mine set up. He's already got his... Oh, I thought that was a barracks. So many tanks, so many turrets already set up for SimCity. He pulls his SCVs because he knows if he just holds, he's going to take this game. He's got a 50 supply. Look how many tanks that is.
That is scary amount of fusing I'm seeing. Maybe he should split some of his tank and start to attack at the bottom right, because there's literally no units at the bottom right side. But I guess Light really wants to play safe, splitting the map in half. We can see, I don't know how many siege tanks those are, probably about 30 to 40-ish. Oh my god, I don't see it. Yeah, that's a lot.
This is a boxer moment right here. That is many tank, yes. And he's also got vessel support for the EMPs. That's another landed EMP. And not only does he have the tank count, he's got the vessel count, he's got the EMPs landing left and right. And he knows that if he catches this army, this game is over. So he's going to force an engagement. Rain's going, he has to fight. He can't run anymore. Storm on top of a lot of tanks. These are about as effective as you're going to get, but it just doesn't matter when there's 20 more tanks behind the 20 tanks that were in the front?
Absolutely beast. We can see Light started to get mined out at the 3rd expansion and the 4th CC, but this is completely unstoppable. This is like still remaining 30 tanks start moving out, and Light is just slowly gonna be containing in range front expansion.
Yeah, Templars come out. They got EMP'd instantly, so they're just dead. Templars in the back. Oh, look at the focus fire. He knocks down 2 out of the 3 Templars. The goons and the Zealots all melting. That's the first stasis that we've seen all game. Now a 60 supply lead, and there it is. Light is going to take game 1 with insane macro.
Yeah, Rain does not seem that happy because he chose the map and he lost in a first game of the map. So of course he did have lots of a huge lead with the map advantage in an early stage of the game with the build order wise, but he didn't know about the 2-Rex cheese. But this thing did not work out so well for Rain.
Yeah, even though he took a lot of damage to the Marines, he seemed to have stabilized pretty well. And there were a couple moments where I thought, okay, the tank count got reset. Is Rain going to simply overrun him? But Light's just the master of defense. He knows how to play the split map. He knows how to have just barely enough units in every position. And there was just no way for Rain to actually overrun any position. And now you got to be thinking, if you're in Rain's shoes, okay, well, my storms were fantastic. Like, all of his storms kept connecting nonstop. But if you're still not able to break the guy while connecting so many storms, can you just not play Storm versus Light? Like, is he obligated to go carriers now?
Well, Light has all the solution. He knows how to beat carrier, like how he beat BC in the semifinal. And not sure what Rain should be preparing for the next game, because the next map, it is definitely chosen by Light, and of course Light probably gonna have some better or I should say higher chance of having playing somewhat comfortable playing against Protoss in a 4-player map, and those seas tank is so many.
Yeah, and I don't know. I thought Rain played very well. It just doesn't matter though versus Light. His late game is impeccable. And our second map, what is it?
It should be the 4-player map. But I don't know. I know it's not.
It's Allegro.
It's definitely not going to be 2-player map, because who the hell Terran loves to play on a 2-player map for the TVP?
It's Allegro. I remember now. So Allegro is going to be our second map, and as you said, it's a 4-player map, and we already saw Light play versus Bisu there. And remember in the Bisu game, Bisu got away with 12 Nexus. He went for like an 1130 bus, which a lot of Terran players find impossible to stop, and he still managed to stop it. And we are going to be going into, I guess, interviews with players. We are back. That looked like a fun skit between the players, especially the graphs. I'm curious to look at it again later and figure out what they are exactly saying. But we're going to be going into game 2 in just a couple minutes. It's going to be Allegro. And I'm a bit worried for Rain going into game 2 because we saw him go for an attempted bust on Eclipse. Didn't work out. Went into Templars. Didn't work out. And we know that Light already stopped that from Bisu on Allegro. And I'm thinking that Rain may try and do it again and try to optimize it a little bit better. And I think if he does it again, I would bet money that Light will probably stop it again. And there is Brittany, I think, right?
Yes, that he is Brittany. You're right, and we can see. I think she is Light's wife earlier from that camp, and we can see those Rain's fan are pretty much rooting for him. It's okay, even though you're the score right now 1-0, we can still keep up the game, and we can see a lot of fans waiting to see the next game, being patient.
Yeah, and game 2 is going to be very important. If Light starts up 2-0, this might really affect Rain's mindset going to game 3 and 4. From the historic point of view of TVP in the ASL finals, I remember from that graphic we saw earlier, up until the previous season, almost every single season was a 3-0 or a 4-0. And just recently, the previous season was 4-3 between Rush and Mini. So history says that generally, TVP finals is not close as the blowout. So it needs to be a victory here, I think, for Rain. Game 2, it is on Allegro, a very wide open map. So generally, I like Protoss on here, but Light has already shown that he's willing to play split map on here, and Rain needs to be worried about that.
And looks like players are all ready. We're going to be moving into game number 2, which is going to be Rain versus Light on Allegro. And yeah, there are some firework going on. Should be starting now.
알레그로에서 게임을 시작합니다.
In the top left, our Protoss Emperor, it is Rain. And then in the bottom left, our Terran King, it is Light. So I'm sure a lot of people, or a lot of fans out there are wondering, okay, well, what could Rain have done better? What do you think Rain should have done on Eclipse that could have gotten him a victory?
Well, the thing that I was not sure about Rain's play was, why did he not send out some like a probe at the 11 o'clock or at the 5 o'clock expansion to put another fifth nexus real quick? But I mean, he was pretty much squeezing all of his resource with the 4 base mining. Trade did go off really well, but Light managed to hold off that timing attack and slowly having that upgrade advantage with the 2-1 upgrade and the 3-2. And we can see that's JSA students. There are lots of schools, Africa content going on Africa platform. And Light, you can see from his gamer tag, JSA Light. And Rain is also in one of the school. It's called YSU, run by was it C?
Well, this is the one and only, the 12 Nexus opener from Rain, and every Terran despises this build. Now, luckily for Light, he did not get cross spawn here, so he will have the option to pull versus this, but not if he scouts horizontally. Now he's going to have to go for the end scout, hopefully, and find this. And Rain fans, of course, are thinking, okay, hopefully he doesn't scout this, because more often than not, Terran will pull versus this. However, Light has not built gas. Can you pull versus a 12 Nexus with no gas?
Well, I think the answer is yes, because as soon as you figure out how many gateways there are and how many pylons there are, Light can assume, Light can either wants to pull 3 or maybe 6 SCV to kill that 12 Nexus, and as soon as that probe come, you can see that probe did not come from the top side. It came from like the top left side. He will be immediately assuming, oh, this has to be the 12 Nexus scout, the cross scout, and that's how I met how I met that probe. And yeah, that SCV is definitely gonna go to 11 o'clock.
Yeah, and we know from the previous series of Rain and PVT, or maybe it was PVZ, I can't remember exactly, but we did see a lot of cross scouts from his probe. So Light definitely is aware of that. And he does come in here and see it is only a single gateway, gas going up. Now Rain, will he put down a second gate down ASAP? He didn't get in and didn't see that this is going to be, you know, just a fast command center pop. Ooh, this is going to be the Ruin build. There's the Forge, and how does that probe get through? Now he may not feel like he even has to build more than one cannon, or maybe he can just feel confident just a single cannon, single zealot. That probe getting all the intel, and look at that! He cancels the Forge instantly because he knows that, hey, we're not getting pulled because there's a command center already going down.
Well, I think Light still can pull some SCV to go for the timing attack, because you can see how late the cybernetic score is. I mean, the cybernetic score is not done yet at this 4 minute of the game, but I guess Light has some plan behind this.
Yeah, the Zealot does move in, and this time around, not going to run by and bleed it off like he did on Eclipse. It's imperative that he keeps as many Zealots alive in case there is a push. Now, ever since you mentioned the Robo no range, okay, I was looking to see if we were going to see another Robo without the range, but this time around, it is going to be straight range. Light confirms that. And we do have 2 fact follow-up, just like last game.
And Rain is immediately putting down the second gear after the range upgrade, so this is going to be very comfortable for Light. He can skip his eBay and Academy in the early stage of the game, and he can pretty much train more of a worker count in the early stage and slowly take the huge lead from here. And that scouting SCV is still alive. The gun is still chasing, but if Rain takes so long or consumes a lot of time to pick up that scouting SCV, the longer it goes, it is going to be Light's favorite, because he can skip all those Academy and an eBay. Maybe even if he will be even go for that 3 tank into vulture production into super fast on location 3cc.
Yeah, as a Terran, if you know there's no DT, you're skipping the eBay. If you can get into the main and see their tech, see that it's Robo, well, you can skip the Academy for an extremely long time and really streamline your building. With a gasless build like he has, his SCV count is going to be higher than normal, so he's already going to have Mega Econ, and it looks like that's what Light was going for. He was potentially going to put down a fast third command center, or maybe just scout with this SCV. It does get intercepted by the probe though, so he knows that it is out on the map.
Yeah, I'm already seeing Light mining the second gas, and here are the 2 Zala with the 3 gun, 3rd gun coming. And I wonder if Light is getting the siege mode upgrade. Yeah, the duration of that machine shop spinning for a long time. I'm going to be assuming this is going to be the siege mode upgrade on the way. And that must be the second tank just now came out.
So here we go. That is a full bunker. Siege mode is done. Look at the SCV body block. Only 1 goon gets in range. 2 goons died to the siege mode. And this was a devastating failure for Rain. Perfect defense.
You can see from Rain's reaction on his cam, he's definitely not happy about it. While he's doing the trade, Rain wanted to take a 3rd expansion. While he's doing that trade, he wanted to take the 3rd expansion, but now, after losing those 4 guns with the 2 Zala for free, Rain decided to put down the robotic support bay plus double 2 more gateway. That is total 4 gateway, and this is not a good opening scenario for Rain, because he started off with the 12 Nexus, and now you're stuck on 2 base, and you don't have that super fast tech like Arbiter build or Carrier build whatsoever, and you don't have your Reaver out still, and these 5 tanks are now finally moving out, and probably the reinforcement from Light's factory would be Vulture production, and yes, it is.
Yeah, this is going to be 4-fact follow-up. Light had the option to go for a third base, and it looked like he was going to take it, but not going to be the case. And unfortunately for Rain, because he went straight support bait like you mentioned earlier, he has no idea that this is coming. Look at his lack of vision. Vulture's got all the way across the map without taking any damage, and now there's 5 tanks, 4 Marines, there's an SCV here that can set up a bunker, and now mines are set up, and there's still no observer.
Yeah, you
With
can
Rally 4-fact?
Yes, you can see how beautiful Light is spreading the Siege tank, so he won't be getting the splash damage from those the Reaver. And 4 guns is not more than enough. Okay, he wants to do the Reaver micro, dropping one out of butt. Okay, soaking up the Siege tank shot, but nicely picking up one Siege tank, but this is still not enough. That's a massive amount of Vulture still staying alive. The bunker now finishes. This contain is slowly going to be stronger and stronger. Okay, that's a missile turret right now he's slowly building.
Yeah, and he's in range of the Nexus, so he has to engage at some point. He can't just sit here and let the Nexus get shelled over and over and over. And critically, the gas has also been shut down by Light. So there's no, like, you know, Templar follow-up. There's no carriers, obviously. There's no gas income for him. It's just pure mineral. So really, all Light has to do is just continually reinforce this. He knows he can't get backstabbed by any high-tech units.
Wow,
Okay, well, maybe Reavers.
Yeah, he's definitely a lot of steps ahead with this movement. He has those shuttles just moved out. Should be having that on 1 missile turret at the natural. Yes, there is, and he's all prepared. Light is all prepared. That shuttle did not react.
Oh my god, he just instantly GG's. The small counterattack with the Reaver and Shuttle just gets instantly annihilated by 2 turrets. And it's going to be Light going up 2-0 in our series.
Yeah, Rain. I guess that of course I know we know the end of the result, but something that I would like to talk about the build that Rain did. It's kind of like the old school style where you put down the second gateway first before the robotic facility. And in the past, a lot of Terran players were playing really, really safe no matter what Protoss was doing. Like they did like putting down like blind 3 missile turret to defend like the DT drop, the Reaver harassment or whatsoever. But now a lot of Terran players has been improving because of the Flash. Did show us lots of solution. A couple years ago, like, oh, you showed me those the Cybernetics core spinning. Oh, you showed me that how many pylons you built in your main base and how many you put down the second gateway first, then a robotic facility. Those kind of like small details that Flash have been showing in the past. Like, Light definitely has all those information in there, and he knows what he has to do in that game number 2 after Rain threw all of his army at the bunker line.
Yeah, and I was looking at the mini-map as that was happening, and the SCV got back into the main of Protoss. So he not only saw the 4 gateways, he obviously knew that Protoss just lost their whole army. He saw that also it was support bay follow-up, so he knew he could go for a fast tank push with Vultures because there's no observer anytime soon. So it was perfect play from Light, and of course he was skipping Academy, skipping turrets, so everything was streamlined amazingly. And now Rain is 2-0, and these aggressive openers from him, whether it was the bust on the third base or Eclipse or the bust at the natural that we just saw, they're just not working versus Light. However, I have to say that the SCV pull was fantastic. A lot of other Terran players would have fallen there, weaker Terran players, just to a simple move like that. But Light, he's really bringing his A game today. But third map, what is it? Is it Revolver? I think it's Revolver as our third map.
I think it should be another 2-player map in my opinion.
2-player?
It should be. I mean, if you're a Protoss player, you want to take the... Oh, never mind. Okay, I'm wrong. You're right. So he did pick the Revolver. Revolver is also one of the great maps for Protoss as well. Many people... I did explain about this the Revolver map in the past where like the... what's it called? The reverse favored of the map, like the Zerg versus Terran, like it's kind of like a Zerg favor and so on. But because of that 12 Nexus, things just now all switched over. Revolver is a completely Protoss map. People probably don't believe what I say right now, but it is what it is, and we gonna be moving into game number 3 here, Rain versus Light on Revolver.
Okay, in the bottom left, down 2-0, it is Rain. And in the top left, looking as dangerous as ever, it is Light. Now, Revolver, I have such a tough time busting 12 Nexus on this map. There's just no spawn that I get where I think, okay, this is a good spawn for me to bust it. But I do hope to see Rain go for 12 Nexus simply for my own learning experience. But at the same time, I hope he doesn't, because it is vertical spawn, and we know that this is a very, very close rush distance when they do spawn vertically.
Well, since this is a vertical matchup, and as soon as if Rain ever goes for the 12 Nexus, I feel like Light will be pulling like 11 SCV and go for completely cheese all in and try to end the game, because of course he's having that 2-0 start off, and why not take a high risk and try to end the game in the early stage of the game when the map is not a favorite map for Terran.
Well, it is not going to be 12 Nexus, that is going to be the gateway opener. It's not a forward gate either, which is another common build on Revolver. Now what I'm looking for is it going to be a gasless expand like we saw on Eclipse, or will he just go into the typical gas into cybernetics play? Luckily for Rain, he is going to find him in the first position. He's going to find him vertically, and meanwhile, is Light going to put down his gas? He built up another SCV, so now it's going to be a delayed 14 gas or so now that the probe is coming in.
Yeah, I guess Light was aiming for another CC opening first, but as soon as that probe has come, he decided to change his builder. Oh, I have to go for 13 refinery still, because that probe is just gonna be either doing the gas if I don't build a refinery. And we can see Rain still does not have the second pylon going up, so he's doing the new gate expansion build that Mini mentioned in the previous season. There was a one A rank Protoss was pretty much remaking or reinventing of this gateway expansion, and this is a 16 Nexus into 16 a simulator. Oh, I see he built the pylon first, so he did swap around the build order wise.
Yeah, and this particular opener is the toughest build I face on the ladder. The Zealot comes out fast, so you have to build Marines. Because the Zealot is so fast, you can't pressure the Nexus. What do you like doing versus this particular opener if you ever encounter it?
Well, I would still go for cheese. I mean, that probe has come into my base in the early stage of the game, so I'm going to be immediately assuming either it is going to be horizontal or vertical matchup. And of course, Light does know about that information, and he will be going for the end scout, and he's also building the third depot because he needs it to have more supply open to make a more marine and a single vulture production. And as soon as he sees this Nexus before the factory finishes, oh, you went for the gateway expansion? How dare you? I'll be going for the huge cheese rush here.
Well, we'll see if he can make it work, because it is Revolver. You have that tiny ramp. It's so hard to get up. I wonder... Oh, he is pulling the boys, and here they come. And every time I do it on this map, it backfires completely. But that is a lot of SCVs. That additional depot, the third depot that you mentioned, will help him quite a bit. He didn't have to stop Marines. He didn't have to stop Vulture production. Okay, here he comes. He's already here, and there's only a single Zealot. Where's the Goon? The first SCV does fall, though. No probes being pulled. Actually, he's just going to sack the Nexus here.
Yeah, what? I think this is going to be the huge all-in rush that I've been mentioning about. But thing is, this is a high ground base for Rain, so it may be somewhat comfortable for him to defend, but those Marine and Vultures are doing such a nice job. Zealot is doing some work. A lot of SCB Marines are still coming, and I can see from Light's main base. He's not building his machine shop at all. Those probes are doing some work, but the bunker finishes.
The bunker finishes, but he's got to get in the bunker. The vultures have killed so many probes, so it doesn't. I'm not even sure if it matters if Rain holds anymore. Vultures can get into the mineral line and wreak more havoc. So many probes have been lost. So many SCVs have been lost. He even picks off the Dragoon that was low health. And even though the Nexus is up at the natural, he's going to continue to push here. He knows it's an isolated goon. Remember, Vultures two-shot probes, so the Marines can dish out the damage on the goons while the Vultures kill all the probes. That's exactly what he's doing. There's maybe 8 or so probes left, and that's it.
Yeah, the core is spinning. That's a great news for Rain. But those 2 vultures are just picking up all those probes. 2 probes are remaining, and Rain just gives up.
Oh my gosh! I thought after Rain gave up the Nexus at the natural that he would be able to hold his high ground position, and I thought for sure that was going to be a mistake. But instead, Light pushes through, gets a 3rd victory in a row, and now he has just an absolute dominating lead. He's 1 game away from becoming the champion. And now if you're Rain, what do you do here? You can't play aggressive. Light shuts it down. You can't play greedy, 12 Nexus, or this new 16 Nexus style. It just seems like Light has all the answers.
Yeah, Light, of course, he did play the off race, or I should say, he did switch his race to Protoss in a couple years ago for the KSL tournament, and after that, the short period of time when he switched his race, he did become more stronger than before, and he literally understands everything of Protoss. And you can see those JSA fans cheering for Rain, and the YSU fans are pretty much somewhat upset because Rain is not doing really well here.
Well, this engagement was... I thought it was going to be a catastrophe, because if you look at the SCV placement, a lot of them die to these probes, and then all that's left is 5 SCVs. Like, look, those first 2 SCVs instantly die. But then the 5 SCVs draw all of the attention of the goon onto the right side, and now all of a sudden, Marines and Vultures are wreaking havoc onto this probe line. The probes try to drill again, but again, the goon is so far away from the rest of the probes that they just get eaten alive. You can see that despite all the losses so far, worker count is still even. The problem now is that the bunker can never get taken down because range is so slow. And now, of course, Vultures have an opening on the left side. This was the big deal right here, popping that weak goon. And now there's just nothing to match the Vulture DPS once it gets into the probe line.
Very well calculated play by Light here. And Rain was very confident in the interview, but I guess his mind is not still comfortable playing in this offline final. And I wonder if we are going to be moving into the commercial break or going to be moving into game number 4 immediately.
Yeah, I was also thinking the same thing. I'm going to be surprised if there's no break here, no Hot 6 commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Because Light is dominating so hard that it really does look like we could have just a game-ending series in Game 4. Now, 4th map, that is Vermeer. We really haven't seen many games at all, whether it's Protoss versus Zerg, Terran versus Protoss, Terran versus Zerg. Not very many games at all on Vermeer, and I know there are a lot of lodges, a lot of cliffs and stuff like that. What do you think Protoss game plan should be going into Vermeer?
Well, I heard Vermeer is a tough map for Protoss because... Oh, I guess we'll be moving into the commercial break. We'll be coming back soon. Stay tuned, guys.
더블 하자. Well, this could be it. We are about to go into game 4. Light putting on a show. He's up 3-0. Rain has no answer to his play. And okay, maybe we're not going to
두
get.
선수의 현재
Yeah, I'm
세트
here.
스코어 상황 짚어드리겠습니다. 이 첫 번째
And
세트
for some
이재호
reason
선수가 이
they
본인의
raise
토론성이
up the
얼마나
volume of
높은지를 보여주면서 승리를 가져갔고요. 두
raise up
번째
the volume.
세트 역시 역공 타이밍을
That's kinda,
제대로 잡으면서 이재호 선수가
bleeding my ear right there,
가져갔습니다.
but,
방금 펼쳐졌던 세 번째 세트 역시
she is
이재호 선수가
summarizing
타이밍을
up
잡고
this game
치즈러시를
3.
가능하면서 현재 두 선수의
She is
세트
saying-
스코어는 이재호 선수가 3대 0으로 리드하고 있습니다.
She was summarizing up that game number 3 that Light they pull so many SCVs for the cheese rush.
자, 먼저 최고의
And
명장면
she
유저
is
클립으로 남겨라라는 이벤트인데요.
talking about the ASL Season13 Finals event, online event.
유저 클립으로 남겨주시면
People who are making the great highlight
자,
scene,
이어서 시청
then you'll
우승
get
이벤트 역시
some,
결승전에서도 여러분과 함께합니다.
you'll get some lottery from there as well, and also the online event. If you're proving to them that you're watching the ASL, you're also getting the ASL uniforms. You're also the winners prediction event as well. Africa TV esports page. If you get the winners prediction right, you will get the ASL mini humidifier. 5 people will be getting it.
자, 그리고 상암 콜로세움 현장을
And also they're doing the offline event,
준비된 이벤트 역시
the
마련되어
lottery
있습니다.
event in an
오늘
offline
경기가
event that will
종료된
be the
후에
ASL
관객 여러분들을 대상으로
mini,
추첨을 통해서
or
다양한 ASL
I should
굿즈들을
say
선물로 드릴
the
예정이니까요.
fandom, the mini
우승자가
fan,
탄생하는 순간까지
ASL
현장에서 꼭 저희와 함께 경기
portable
즐겨주시기
battery,
바랍니다.
ASL
자,
blanket,
두
and
선수의
some
네
other,
번째
some
세트를
other stuff as
앞두고
well.
있습니다. 두 선수에게 그 어느
Players
때보다
are still
응원이
ready,
절실할 지금의
waiting in the
순간인데요.
seat.
지인분들 모시고 한번 인터뷰
And
나눠보도록
she's
하겠습니다.
saying she is going to go for the
나와주시죠.
interview with
나와주시죠.
some people.
자, 먼저 이재호
First
선수를
of all,
응원하기 위해 현장을 찾아주신
this is JSA
선생님, 그리고 또 정윤정 선수를
University, the
응원하기 위해
leader of
현장을
the JSA.
찾아주신 이만희님
He's running the
함께하겠습니다.
JSA.
안녕하세요.
We'll be going for the interview with him.
네, 다니님
And
안녕하세요.
also Danning from
자, 현재
YSU, I
두
believe.
선수의 상황이 굉장히 많이
Right now the
다릅니다.
score is-
일단 두 선수의 상황을 좀 이야기하기 전에
One person is going to be very excited,
또
and another
이
person
열기를
not going to be
현장에서
happy about
느끼니까
the
두분
result.
좀 감회가
What do you
남다르실
think
것
about
같은데요. 시조사님은
This
어떠신가요?
offline stage?
사실 저도
And the
ASL
atmosphere.
예전부터 좀 팬이어가지고
And
한번
JS is
와봤었는데 그때보다
he
지금
is
더
one of the big fan of
많이
watching
차
ASL.
있고,
All the
되게
fans are
재밌네요.
all the fans and audience were here.
지금 이 의상에서도 열기가
And
느껴집니다.
he's really enjoying about it.
다닝님은 좀 현장에서 이스타
He's
원의
sweating.
관람객 분들의 열기를 좀 느껴보니까 어떨까요?
제가
And Danning,
ASL 이렇게
you are watching this
직접
offline
관람 온 게
stage and watching
처음인데
how
또 막상
players are
이렇게
playing. How do you feel about this
사람들이 많이
atmosphere?
응원해주고 하는 거 보니까 저도 약간 심장이 뜨거워지는 느낌입니다.
So she is
선수
saying
못지않게
this
긴장된
the
마음으로
great
아마 오늘
energy
결승전
that
경기 두 분도
people are
지켜보고
showing
계실
on
것
the offline
같습니다.
stage. She's
일단
also
시조사님은 굉장히 기분이 좋을 것 같아요.
she's also enjoying
우리
about
대학의
this
명예를 걸고
moment.
이재호 선수가 지금 또 굉장히 활약해주고
Her heart
있는데요.
is
어떻게
also-
좀 지켜보고 계신가요?
beating up, beating
저는
faster
진짜,
and faster.
경기가 너무 재밌어가지고 너무 빨리 끝나고 해가지고 되게 재밌고
And
일단 여유가
GSA
생겼어요.
leader
3대0으로 이기고 있어가지고
is very excited and
또
also
대학대전 원래
feeling
연습 때랑
comfortable.
잡았거든요. 잡히기
Now the
전에
score is right now 3-0.
조금
He's so happy
되게
about
기선제압을 할 수
기선제압을,
있는 네.
coach,
한국
JSA
같아가지고
coach. Light
아직
is
하지만
winning.
경기가 끝난 건 아닙니다.
And also
담임님께서는
JSA
지금
leaders saying
정윤정
that
선수에게 가장
they
필요한 거
got
어떤
some,
거라고
they
생각하실까요?
set up some school battle against
저도 되니까
YSU
후회만 없이 했으면 좋겠어요.
in next week or
부담
so.
없이.
이 동료의 정말 진심 어린 응원이 정윤정
So the
선수에게 다 닿을 것
YSU
같은데
student,
정윤정
she is
선수에게
saying,
응원의 한마디를 들리도록 좀 남겨주시면
it
좋을
is
것 같아요.
okay if you lose this game, but please keep up.
부담 가지지 말고 화이팅!
약간 눈물이
pretty much
글썽이신 것
saying
같아요. 정윤정
and rooting
선수
for
응원하는
Rain.
마음이 저한테까지
Do not give up
느껴지는데
your hope.
시청자님께도 좀 여쭤보고 싶습니다. 지금 이
Keep
순간
your-
이재호
keep your
선수에게
stuff
필요한 게
together.
당근일까요?
And-
채찍일까요?
Fight back for game number 4.
채찍입니다. 마지막 한 걸음은 채찍으로.
Any last word for
역시
JSA
이사장님
leader?
냉정하시네요. 그럼
네,
채찍의
네.
한마디
It's gonna be
남겨주시죠.
총장님,
somewhat spicy
저희 명예를
here.
걸고 화이팅!
두 선수를 응원하는 두 분의 마음 잘
So he
들어봤습니다.
wants-
현장에서 끝까지 함께
He wants
즐겨주시기
Light to
바랍니다.
really,
이상
he
고맙습니다.
wants Light to win
고맙습니다.
감사합니다.
and show how strong JSA school is.
이재호 선수의
And
기선제압을
thank you for the
응원하는
interview.
분들 그리고 정윤종 선수의 이 위기를 기회로 바꾸기 위해 응원하는 분들 이 두 분들의 상반된 마음이 느껴지는
And
인터뷰였는데요.
those
과연
interviews
어떤 선수가
from one
오늘의
of the members
주인공이
from
될 수 있을지
YSU
네
and
번째
JSA.
세트 범위어로 떠나보시죠.
Of course, each of them have different feeling of this watching the offline tournament, and players should be now ready. We'll be moving into game number 4 on Vermeer.
Yeah, Vermeer coming up. And before we went into the break, I was asking you about what you thought about Vermeer for Protoss, and you were saying that this was not a good Protoss versus Terran map, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I've been hearing it in the very first, like when Latias, the map maker, was getting the feedback with, like, or I should say, negotiating with all those 3 players from the previous season. Who was it? Mini, Rush, Hero. Like each race, like representing of the, like, what is it? The feedback of the map of the Vermeer, and it kind of have to be ended up for a bad side for Protoss, I heard, and Mini was not satisfied with the final result of the map design, and from the record that what I'm seeing from Vermeer, and I also played on Vermeer on Spawnbank and also Pro League on online on Africa, and I can feel it's very comfortable playing on this map for Terran, because if you have played on Eclipse for like thousands of games and then started to play on Vermeer, I can build missile turret over here anywhere, and I can slowly defend any sort of like a 3 groups of guns out and a shuttle busting my natural, and it's somewhat comfortable than usual. So of course Rain knows about it. He's probably not going to be feeling comfortable about that zone. It looks like players are ready. Fireworks are running.
Yep, this is it, guys. This could be the last game of the day. Can Light do it? Can he secure the championship? Or will Rain start a comeback? So in the bottom right, he must win here, otherwise he's done. It's Rain. And in the bottom left, 1 win away from getting his first ASL championship. It is Light. Now remember, we already had Light versus a Protoss earlier. It was in the round of 4, and it was versus Bisu, another star-studded Protoss player, and he went for the 14cc. I wonder if he'll try to go for it again. We see that the Vermeer statistics say 2-1 for Terran, but not a lot of games played in the ASL, so take that with a grain of salt, but obviously a lot of Spawnbank games have been played.
And we are seeing this is a horizontal matchup, and whenever the matchup is a horizontal matchup like this kind of scenario, of course Terran will be expanding towards the the 7 o'clock third command center. Fourth command center probably should be landing on the 9 o'clock. And we have seen from the last week, Light versus Bison and Lego in the first game. We have seen Light was showing fantastic split map scenario, and this should be another one gonna be somewhat comfortable for Light to split the map in half.
Yeah, and we know how dangerous he is going for that split map. And again, it is going to be a 12 Nexus from Rain. So this ASL, he's really played extremely greedy, and he's going to get away with, well, I don't know if he's going to get away with it, because this time around, Light does opt for the 12 gas, and with horizontal spawns being a pretty close spawn position, we could have another pull.
And we can see Light is building the refinery, and let's see whether the SCB is going to go to the top side. And no! The destiny, the fate is on Light. He will be scouting Rain with the first scout. And Light has talked about this on stream, that whenever he finds out the products with the first scout and seeing this is a 12 Nexus and how many pylons there are and how many gateways there are, he can either do 3 SCB pull, cheese rush, or just wait until he has a decent amount of marine and slowly pull about 6 to 7 SCB for the second cheese rush. And we are seeing here he's counting how many pylon and how many gateways they are.
Yep, and that's another forward pylon at the natural, and I was thinking that this could be another forge follow-up. So far though, it was gas taken by Rain, no forge or cybernetics. And there is the factory going down. The first marine did not get rallied across the map. He will just defend this probe. He does get in, and he does confirm that more marines are in production, and he's put back onto gas.
Yeah, not sure what that gas is. Oh, maybe he did see the forge, and as soon as he kills that probe, maybe he might gonna go for siege tank with the siege mode with the 2 factory follow-up. That's the only case I can understand about this. And Rain is thinking about the cheese rush from Light, and he built the forge. Still does not have the cybernetics core. Okay, there is a cybernetics core. Finally went up, but Light is making lots of marine production. Sees there's a single cannon going up. Of course, it's good thing for him that he didn't go for cheese rush here.
Yeah, and I think that's another probe. It's moving a little bit too fast for it to be a zealot. I thought that could have been a good move from Light to go for a small counterattack while the tank marine pressure is happening on the map, make it very weird. And wow, that is a 3 gateway follow-up. So this marine tank push, it's gonna be strong, but at the same time, it's just gonna be one single tank trying to knock down a single cannon. I don't know if this will be able, or if the tank will be able to survive 3-gate goon production, but here he goes. It's 7 marines, a single tank, and he does see it.
Yeah, he sees the tank now, came out, getting the range upgrade on the way, building another second cannon. We know Rain has 3 gateway production soon, but the thing about this map is that you can actually put down the bunker front of that cannon, and he might gonna start doing like the bunker ring, like connection, like the bridge, and then okay, he's pulling some probe. I guess he really wants to stop those the bunker, but really be able to. But the SCBs are standing really on a nice spot.
Yeah, that is a nice spot, but that means that the zealots have access onto the marines at the bottom. Again, the probe has nothing to drill on, so these probes are kind of just body blocking their own zealots. However, he did push back the attack. And is this enough to get, or enough time to get enough goons into position? I think the answer is no. There are 4 tanks though sieging up. Can the dragoons get on top of the tanks? They're all bunched up, and this might be a botched attack from Light. He's gonna try and focus down as many goons as he can. He takes down 1, but there's just not enough DPS for him to take down the remaining goons, and this attack was barely held.
That was definitely a nice hold by Rain. Rain has those 3 goons, but 2 goons are on a low HP. Reinforcements are slowly coming up, but the range upgrade is still not done. Another 3 goons just now came up, but Marines are now about to go inside of the bunker. and C-Tank has come. Light is still making more of a marine production, and he's about to do some body blocking here, but Gun's range upgrade is done. Snipes the C-Tank, and this is a fantastic defense by Rain, and the range upgrade, of course, it is done. So now Light has to back off.
Yeah, amazing defense from Rain. When it counted, he had to defend there, and he does. And now, Light's on the back foot. He spent a lot of resources on the Marines. He got tanked. He got siege mode. You can see he's floating a decent amount of gas too, so not as optimal an opener as he possibly could have gotten. However, Rain did lose a decent chunk of probes. Now, I'm seeing a red dot at top left, and Light, okay, I thought maybe he would go for a hidden command center at top left, but actually that's a common follow-up for a lot of Terran players when they fall into a position like this. Now the goons, well, they are going to back off. I thought he may poke in, but he of course knows Terran already has siege mode, so he's not going to risk losing goons for free.
What are those big buildings?
Oh, barracks!
He did prepare a very spicy build. I guess he kind of realized that the siege mode rush did not work out so well for him, and he's somewhat behind, but at the same time he knows how late Rain's robotic facility is, because he has confirmed all those three gateway production on the way, and he knows Rain cannot afford to put the support bay in early stage of the game because Rain needs to scout what Light is doing, and he's gonna be using that as a chance, as an opportunity to go for bio.
Yeah, and this is going to be all or nothing for Light here. Really, with bio, it's almost impossible to transition out of. That tank got a bit lucky, to be honest. Now, this is going to be the first time Protoss does not go straight support bay. He is going to go observer, and he will see this coming. However, Terran's Academy should be finishing any moment now. Terran desperately needs range with pushes like this. Them is great, but if you don't have range, the goons just eat up your Marines as he pushes across the map. This is going to be a lot of Terran coming at him, but I think Rain should be able to hold this. That's a lot of tanks, so that is 5 tanks already, and he's not cutting units at all.
Yeah, look at that mineral and Vespin gas somehow balanced out easily. Spending those Vespin gas for the steam pack and the pneumatic production combat station, and throwing another SCB to scout whether whether the guns are standing or whatnot, and there are 6 guns are standing. Rain needs to be careful because he does not know how many siege tanks they are standing. But in order to stop this heavy bio tank push, you must have the Reaver out. And now he confirms there are huge M&Ms are standing right next to those siege tanks. So now he needs to invest those Vespin gas for some support bay and prepare for the Reaver switch.
Yeah, and what you want to do versus this is buy as much time as possible. You don't have to take game-winning engagements. You just need to buy time to get your production going. Right now, he has Pure Goon. Pure Goon cannot beat this. He needs Zealots, he needs Reavers, he needs Storm or DT, he needs something that can deal with the Marines quickly. But Light's not going to give him any breathing room. He's going to consistently, very quickly push across the map. 6 goons are going to cut off reinforcements though, so this army is stuck, but the tank count is so high at 6, I don't think Rain can actually beat this army.
Yeah, those siege tank is definitely a lot, and Light is going to leave some of siege tank at the behind, and now those 6 goons at the behind getting some shots. Okay, only a single gun died, and now Light is about to send off his reinforcement, and the bunker is about to finish. The bunker takes 19 seconds to complete, and those siege tanks are going to be leaning towards the wall and abusing the terrain.
Yeah, and look at the position he's at. Not only does he range the Nexus, he also ranges the ramp. However, these goons are on high ground, are doing amazing, but look how fast goons and Zealots just die to stem Marines with 7 sieged up tanks behind it. A lot of times what you can do as Protoss is just take another base and start spamming gateways, but he's just obligated to attack because the attack is so fast. The Reaver Micro is fantastic. He knocks down 2 of the 7 tanks. There's only 5 remaining, but there's not enough goons in the back line. Those are all going to fall. The shuttle falls, and that means the Reaver's dead. And now what does Rain do?
Well, Rain still has his third base and has some decent amount of gateway, probably about 6 to 8 gateway. I guess he is waiting for the Sirabadun finishing up the speed lot, but the speed lot is not done. Those 3 Marine will be drawing the attention at the third expansion. Okay, that's another Reaver just now came up, but Reaver cannot be alone. He definitely needs to have the shuttle to do the Reaver micro, and Light brought more SCVs. He's about to put more bunker in the front. Okay, there are 2 goods that are picking up the C-Stack from the high ground. Those Zealots are doing such a great work here, but the reinforcement from Light.
Well, that was a massive Reaver shot, but it just doesn't matter because there's no support for the Reaver, and the Reaver gets picked off. And you can see the reaction from Rain. He knows that it's over. There it is, GG, and Light. He's gonna do it. The first championship for him in such a long time. What was he, KSL Season 1 winner? And now he's finally here with another championship. It's ASL 13 going over to our Terran player.
Light is definitely a monster, understands every small details of Protoss, and we can see Light is raising up his trophy, ASL champ trophy, and he's pretty much, he probably cannot believe that he won this final 4-0, and we can see we're gonna be going for the interview here. Oh, they're still blasting the music, so I'll be waiting a couple more seconds before we turn on the sound. And looks like we are going to go for the champion interview. And congratulations to Light. I don't hear any sound except music. Yeah, I don't hear the Caster Park's voice, so we'll be switching over to Africa real quick. Oops. Yeah, we really need to hear the sound to understand what Mr. Park is saying.
너무 기분 좋습니다. 정말 힘든 순간이었고
every single moment was very hard for you. You are one of the players who puts lots of effort to become a good Terran player. And you have been taking down lots of strong players in the season. A lot of fans are standing in the front. You showed how strong you are. How do you feel? You must be feeling somewhat new. And first,
아직 실감이 잘 안 나요.
he does not believe that he won this ASL final. 2 years ago, he did play against Queen ASL final. He thought that
다시 2년 뒤에 결승전을 와가지고 우승까지
he thought that was his moment, the strongest moment when he was playing really well on StarCraft, but he thought that he won't be coming into the ASL final once again, but he's kind of glad that his effort did pay him off. And you have been showing your effort shows. Your effort shows, and effort also considered as a talent, partially talent. And many people out there knows you are a strong player and have improved a lot. And your family, your fans, and your school members probably support you a lot. And any words to your people? So he wants to say thanks to Noob. He wants to say thanks to Noob. Cannot remember the name. He did say in Snow, Mini, and some other more product players. He's also in one of the schools, JSA. He also wants to say thanks to his fans and members. He was traveling
값진 경험을 하고 나니까
with GSA
준비하면서
members
뭔가 이것보다 더
on
힘들지
island.
않겠다 싶어가지고 정말 큰 힘이 됐고
and
그리고 옆에서 또
their
제가
support
좀
did help him a
준비하는
lot.
좀 많이 예민했는데 저를 또 지지해주고 도와준 또
He was
제
very
와이프인
sensitive while he was
수고하다는
preparing for this
말.
ASL Season 13 Finals. He really wants to say thanks to his wife,
우승 트로피를
letting him to have some comfortable zone while he's preparing for this
자,
final
그럼 이제
stage.
앞으로 이재호 선수의 새로운 도전일 텐데요. 팬 여러분께 어떤 선수 앞으로 될 건지 한 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
Any last word to your fans? What you want to be doing for the future?
지금처럼 제가 또 꾸준히 노력해서
He wants to keep up this form
저도 열심히 노력해서
and show
지금처럼
great
계속
games in the
우승하는
future as
모습
well, and wants to show to his fans
팬분들께 너무너무
he will be
감사드리고
winning more of an ASL
오늘
tournament in the
현장에
future.
와주신 많은 팬분들께도 감사하다는 말 전하고 싶습니다.
He wants to
감사합니다.
say thanks to the
다시
audience
한번
for coming to this offline stage, offline studio, and watching this final.
자리해 주시길 부탁드리겠습니다.
And congratulations,
선수들의 노력,
Light
ASL 우승하는 게 정말 이렇게 힘들구나를
and
매번
Caster
결승전마다
Park is
뼈저리게
saying
느끼고 있습니다.
he every time
데뷔 이후에
realized
우승 트로피를 들어올리기 위해서 선수들은
winning an ASL champ
정말 많은 노력을
title
하고 있습니다.
is
다시 한번
really hard.
선수분들께 깊은
Every
감사의
time whenever
말씀드리면서요.
he sees
지금부터 준우승
every
시상을
season,
진행하도록 하겠습니다.
it feels everything feels new,
ASL 시즌 13
and he's going to be doing the ceremony of the second player.
아프리카 TV e스포츠 게임 콘텐츠 사업 부문의 최정원 부문장직께서 수고를
And
해주시겠습니다. 큰 박수로 환영해
the
주십시오.
vice president of the Africa, I think that's what he said, and he will be congratulating for second player, for second place player.
나의 레벨은 다르다. 어나더 레벨 하식스 함께한
And the ASL is of course sponsored by
천일만에 돌아와서
Hot 6.
강력한 포스를 보여주면서 이번 시즌 결승에 올라온 또 다른 주인공입니다.
And of
준우승
course,
선수를
we
불러보겠습니다.
have,
레인 정윤종.
first of all, before we do the ASL champ ceremony,
돌아온 정윤종 선수의 그 길.
player who
정말
got the
많은
second place, that is
환호와
Rain,
응원을
come
받으면서
up.
이번 결승전 무대에 올라왔습니다.
And
마지막
congratulations.
결승전을 다하는 모습을
Thank you for
보여드리면서
showing
준우승을 차지하게 된 정윤종
such a great
선수에게는
performance.
상금 1,000만 원이
Try to keep up
들어오겠습니다.
as much as you can.
이번 시즌에 우승 트로피는 들어오지 못했습니다. 그래도
And it is somewhat unfortunately for you that you did not get the ASL champ title.
그리고 시상을 도와주신
But thank you for participating and showing great games.
부탁드리겠습니다. 고맙습니다. 이어서 우승자 시상이 있겠습니다.
Continuing for the next ceremony, that is going to be ASL Season 13 champion. But before we must introduce the person, and I think he was saying something about the Africa CEO. Oh, never mind, he's not CEO, so he is. Oh, okay, he is the president of Africa, the company.
또 응원에 따라 이렇게 오프라인 무대에서 많은 분들 모시고 즐거운 시간을 보냈습니다.
And
오늘 이렇게
we
결승전
were
함께 해주셨고 이번 시즌 함께 해주셨는데요.
we were able to enjoy casting and watching this ASL Season 13. Any words to the audience? And he wants to say thanks to buy the tickets and come to this offline stage.
경기장입니다.
And he is saying this Sangam Coliseum is the third
ASL뿐만 아니라
third tournament studio that Africa TV runs.
여러분들의 많은 관심과 성원을 부탁드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.
And he wants
다시 한번
the audience to
이렇게 멋진 무대에서 ASL 시즌 13
he wants audience to know about the ASL studio more, and he will be hosting more events in the future as well. And ASL Season 13, the champion it is. He did put lots of effort, being patient, showing nice performance of today. That is Light. Congratulations. Please come up. And Light, this spent lots of time, a lot of effort, and now he finally wins this ASL champion title.
우승 트로피를 들어올리게 됐습니다. 다시 한번
He's finally
축하
here.
말씀드리고요. 앞으로도 열심히
Will be,
노력해서
he's able to raise up the ASL champ trophy.
모습을 기대하도록 하겠습니다.
There are some scenes taking pictures.
항상 ASL 발전을 위해서 이렇게 멋진 스튜디오까지
And
만들어주시고
Caster Park is saying more about
대표이사님께 다시 한번
for the president.
박수를
Thank you for the host
부탁드리겠습니다.
hosting the event and giving us this studio. Host this event on the
이재호 선수가
in the studio.
그 데뷔 때 MC 게임 히어로 소속으로 활약하는 모습을 계속해서 지켜봤는데
And
이렇게
Caster Park,
우승을 차지하는
he
데까지
was also
15년, 16년이
doing the
걸렸습니다.
commentary for a long time since MBC Game channel. He has been watching Light since MBC Game Hero, a professional team, and in Casper era back then.
최선을 다해주면서 많은 팬분들에게 깊은 감동을
He has been watching Light
진심으로
how long he has been spending to become this strong for the StarCraft,
정말 오랜만에
for the
여러분들과
StarCraft
함께하는 즐거운
competitive
시간을
scene.
보냈는데요. 여러분의 그 열정과 사랑이 없으면
And without the passion and love by fans, we cannot run more of a StarCraft tournament
더 많은 분들을 모시고
and more of a
더
StarCraft
좋은 환경에서
content.
중계할 수 있도록 저희가 노력하도록 하겠습니다. 이렇게
We will be running
짧은 시간 동안에
more of a
이
future
상암
tournament as
콜로세움에서
well.
결승전을
Give lots of
펼치게
love
된
like
데서
as
스텝
usual.
여러분께서는 정말 고생이 많으셨거든요. 다시 한번 감사하다는 말씀 드리면서
We
이제
really
마지막
appreciate
이재호
you guys
16년을 기다려왔습니다. 그리고 ASL
to watch on this
시즌
offline
초반부터
tournament,
지금까지
offline
우승
finals
트로피를 올리기
tournament.
위해서 많은 노력을 해줬거든요. 마지막 세레머니가 나올 때 여러분 끝까지 박수와 환호로 축하해
And Light,
주시면서
he did
저희는
spend
물러가도록
about
하겠습니다. 다음 시즌에
15, 16 years
뵙겠습니다.
to
여러분,
achieve
고맙습니다.
this ASL champ title.
A long time since he got the trophy, and now finally here he is as the ASL champion. You know, my prediction was 4-3 for Rain. So this prediction of mine did not go according to plan. And Light, he beat Rain at all stages in the game. He beat him in late game. He beat him with great defense with a timing attack on Allegro. Game 3, Revolver, I mean, he had great aggressive play versus the 12 Nexus. And then great aggressive play versus another 12 Nexus that even got held. The Marine Medic follow-up, as I saw it unfolding, I was thinking, well, there's no way that this can work. The support base is going to be in time. But he just knows all the answers to everything Protoss can throw at him.
Yeah, Light showed all those possibility what he can do to beat Protoss, and we can see Light is raising up that trophy. Fans are watching, giving big applause, and I guess he finally achieved his dream goal. He's finally having both of the tournament trophies, KSL and ASL.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been waiting for Light to get the ASL win. A lot of people see Light as a big threat in any tournament he plays in, but he seems to always fall short. But this time around, he overcame, and now maybe moving into the future, he'll be able to mentally, or this will have improved his mental state, and potentially we could have future championships headed Light's way. He played so well this season. There were so many great games this season. What was your favorite game from ASL, you think? I actually think that I liked Mong versus Sulky. That was also on Vermeer. That was an epic TVZ.
Oh, one of the most epic game that it comes into my mind, it would be Light versus Bisu on the first map on Allegro. That Bisu was doing 11 minute with a single arbiter, 200 max supply, and busting Light's natural, and Light almost got executed at that moment, but somehow Light managed to hold up that. And yeah, Light was on a bad position for a long time, and he had to split the map in half for a long game.
Yeah, and we are going into the final images of ASL 13. So I want to say thank you to Afrika for letting me and Scan do another season of the ASL. It was fun. as usual. Games were great. I totally forgot about that Bisu game. I also think that was an amazing game. And I look forward to casting ASL Season 14 if they will have me. So, Scan, do you have any final words before we sign off?
Well, it's somewhat unfortunate for those Proto fans who were rooting for Rain, but Rain did his best. We can see how desperate he was with his good micro and Zealot micro, and also the Pro micro, but it was somewhat unstoppable from Light's attack and aggressiveness. So hopefully we can see Rain playing better for the next season.
Yeah, so again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you again in ASL Season 14. But if not the case, I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the near future, hopefully.